We're not Indians. We're not Native Americans. The proper term are warriors. We're not Indians. We're not Native Americans. The proper term are warriors. We're not Indians. We're not Native Americans. The proper term are warriors.
Start this shit off. We're gonna give praises to the ancestors. We're gonna give praises to our creator, Oba. We're gonna say thank you, Yakoki, Oba, Yakoki, Oba. Now the word I'm finna show you in Choctaw to say God is Oba Inki, right? But before they added the Inki, it was just Abba or Uba. You can pronounce it either way. But Yakoki, thank you. Uba, Yakoki, mama. Yakoki, Inki, or Chinky. That's father in Choctaw, Chinky. Yakoki, thank you to the ancestors. Just give your thanks. You here. So before we even get into this video, man, just give thanks. You know what I'm saying? We here another day. You might not have the best day, homie, but check this out. You here, feel me? So, yeah, what we finna do is we finna get into this video, right? And we finna take it from the West Coast to down south to up north. You know what I'm saying? We gotta show love and support to our Ojibwe brothers and sisters, those Indians up there. We gotta set the record straight, because there's a lot of false information and misinformation that's going out into the public, that's going out to the people, and I'm gonna keep it real. There's niggas out here misrepresenting this Indian shit. You know what I'm saying? For their own benefit, right? They want to get paid off this Indian shit, but they not Indians, right? So they'll tell you that you Indian one minute, they'll tell you that you're not Indian one minute, then tell you that you are Indian, just to turn around and say that the foreigners called you Indian, right? But that's how you know people ain't tapped into the culture. That's how you know people not really Indians. They just talking. Nobody showed proof of who they was. I don't care who they is, who they claim to be. I don't care what their name is. It could be Dane Calloway. He's calling you needy. It could be Phoenix Moon. She wants y'all to be urban Indians. It could be, the Aboriginal boys. You know what I'm saying? They don't want y'all to identify with your tribes, with your bloodline, with your family. And all them other motherfuckers, who want to call you maroons and all that shit ain't shit. And I showed y'all in the last video why all that shit don't matter, because can nobody show their family records saying that their ancestors went by those names that they telling y'all to go by? The shit get real. But let's get to it.
This utilitarian manipulative tactic that is embedded within these strangers' motives is none other than indoctrination, which is the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. Uncritically meaning with a lack of criticism or consideration of whether something is right or wrong. Our people were historically called Indians, but not by each other during the historically called Indians, but not by each other during the earliest days of American colonization, only by foreigners from another continent that did not have our people's best interests whatsoever.
I really believe people don't think, right? I really believe people not only don't they think, but they have mental problems, right? So if historically we were called Indians and the United States is Indian land, but they have put our lands in a trust to break up our families, or after they broken up our families, right? if we historically called ourselves Indians, then you said that we didn't call ourselves that, right? Once again, we were historically called Indians, but we didn't call ourselves that. So who called us Indians? And if foreigners came over here from other countries, right? From another landmass, then the word Indian would not be in their language. So make it make sense to me. Indian is an English word. It's an American word. And the English language comes from all of the American Indian tribes. Once again, the English language comes from all the American Indian tribes. So let me tell you this once again. If foreigners, I want you to understand me, if foreigners came over here to the Americas, who taught them English? Because in their languages, once again, Indian would not be in their language. So make it make sense. See, for so long you got away with people, riding your coattail, dick riding. I mean, I'm not, excuse my language to everyone out there, but dick riding, and you not having people. Well, let me not even say you don't have people in your corner checking you, because if they dumb, then I know you dumb, because you don't do your own research. All you do is read off your cue cards or read off of a piece of paper. So whoever's doing your research for you, Dane, they got you looking bad out here. Because once again, how are you going to say that the Indians didn't call themselves Indians? How can you say a people that was called Indian historically didn't call themselves that? Now you have to show the language. See, it's so easy it's easy for you to get off just by saying the foreigners. And at this point in time, a lot of niggas done woke up. We're not accepting what just somebody is saying. We're not accepting people saying, oh, the foreigners. Oh, the white man. No. Now we dealing with who, what, when, where, and how. Who was these foreigners that called us Indians? Which Indians did they call Indian first? But see, you can't answer that because your head is stuck up in your own ass, right?
But we eventually allowed it to be adopted still. Now, you may recall me using the word Niji throughout many of my documentaries when referring to the indigenous people of America, along with their descendants. And here's why. Niji is an ancient descriptive term that defines all Aboriginal people that have indigenously inhabited the landmass historically called Turtle Island.
The word Niji is not ancient. As you guys heard, Dane himself said Niji is an ancient word that the Indians here had called themselves. But the fact of the matter is, Niji is not ancient. So to our left, we have a concise dictionary of Minnesota Ojibways, right? So within the Ojibways that had went to Minnesota from Michigan and Canada area in that region, right? They traveled to Minnesota, some of them. And the word Niji came about uh, being over there in those areas. Okay, so the Minnesota Ojibways and the Ojibways from the Canada, Michigan area had some words in common, of course, but there were other words that the original Ojibways of Canada and Michigan they didn't have, such as Niji. As you guys can see on the left hand side, where it says publication date at the bottom, it says 1995. The word Niji was used between the time period of 1993 to 1995. So the word is not ancient, and nor did the people of this land call themselves Niji, right? So when you look to the upper left hand side, you see Niji where it says page 100. Nad, my friend, vocative form, usually male to male. Once again, Niji, Nad, my friend, vocative form, usually male to male, right? Males talking to each other. But it goes on, if you guys ever have this book, page 184, it says, my males or male friend, Niji Kiwine, right? Yak. Then it goes on to say, E.G. Kiwini, right? Nad. Then it goes on to say my male friend ritual use Nikon, Ag, Econ, Nad, Nikonis, right? And then it goes on to say Ag, Econis, Nad, my friend, vocative form, usually male to male. But the most important thing is they were using this my male friend ritual use. So at the term of 1995, like I was telling you guys, um, the word is fairly new. And when you dealing with the word ritual, right? So you heard Dane talk about how ancient Nietzsche is, which I just showed you. Nietzsche is not ancient at all. They were using different words, and Nietzsche came out of these different words. But the use for Nietzsche applied to rituals. So let's go to rituals. The definition ritual, right? So it says ritual pertaining to or consisting of a rite or rites. This is 1560s, right? So it also says from French ritual or directly from Latin ritualis, relating to religious rites. So the word ritual at that time wouldn't even apply, wasn't even being said with the Nijis. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me, with the Ojibways, right? But then it goes on to say from ritus, religious observance, or ceremony, custom, usage, see rite by 1630s as done as or in the manner of a rite, as in ritual murder attested by 1896. So in 1896, the term ritual pertained to a ritual murder. So how can a word that was used between the time period of 1993 and 1995, how can that be ancient? How? Make it make sense, Dane. If the Indians were using Niji amongst themselves, and they would be talking about committing a ritual murder against themselves. Make it make sense. And then you can't say Niji was always a Ojibwe word, because for the simple fact is, let me get the image. This dictionary to the right hand side, I want you guys to see this dictionary. And you guys can look up this dictionary as well too. Niji is not in this dictionary. The dictionary on the right hand side predates the dictionary on the left hand side. Once again, the dictionary on the right hand side, which says a concise dictionary of the Ojibwe Indian language, right? Once again, a concise dictionary of the Ojibwe Indian language. So the Ojibways that was in Michigan and Canada, in that area, they didn't even have the word Niji in the 1900s. I mean, should I say the early 1900s and the 1800s and before that. Niji didn't exist.
Niji is an ancient descriptive term that defines all Aboriginal people that have indigenously inhabited the landmass historically called Turtle Island, in which this term only refers to particular western areas of the supercontinent known as Gondwana, which includes Canada, North, Central, and South America, along with the surrounding Pacific Islands. Continent known as Gondwana, which includes Canada, North, Central, and South America, along with the surrounding Pacific Islands.
So these are the games that you're playing, and you're not being, for one, you're not even being honest. We just got to call it what it is. You're not being honest. You're not as smart as you think you are. And since you don't have the intelligence to go search these things for yourself, you then have other people believing in what you're saying, and you're sending them down the wrong path, bro. So not only are you mentally fucked up, but you're mentally fucking other people by sending them down the wrong path. And that's cold. That's cold. But yeah, you guys, once again, Niji is not ancient. And to use Niji against your own people is to talk about committing a ritual murder against a friend. I can't go, y'all. Let me teach y'all something real quick. The Ojibways, our brothers and sisters that was in Michigan and Canada, they called the United States Kichimuku Manuki, the Big Knives Land. Since Dane don't want to teach the people correctly, since Dane don't even want to represent for the Ojibways, his tribe, let me represent. Let me give a helping hand to my Ojibwe family, my Indian family, my extended family. So from the Choctaws to all the people who are tuned in, this is how you say the United States in Ojibwe. Kichimuku Manuki, the Big Knives. So you can see it on the left-hand side, take notes. And on the right-hand side, this is how you say Indian in Ojibwe. Since he disrespecting the Ojibwe's people in the tribes, you say Indian by saying Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe. That's how you say Indian. That's how you say Indian in Ojibwe. So, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys see that a lot of people claim to be leaders. They acting like they're leaders. They acting like they speak for Indians and don't even know the culture. They're not even tapped into the language. And then they keep telling you we didn't call ourselves Indians, but once again, they don't even know the story. They don't even know their own story, and they trying to tell you what has happened in the Americas without even tapping into the culture, to the people, to the tribes, to the families. But anyways, man, that's Indian Mac. I'm out.